Hey everybody, my name is Britt, and I'm here to welcome you to the Hardest Part is Getting Started podcast with Britt and Ange. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and Rumble, and of course on our socials. Um, Today's episode is Comparison is the Thief of Joy, which is very suited for uh, what we just talked about in the previous episode about the new year and all the stuff that goes along with it. Um, you know what? I'll let Ange take it from here.
All right. Thanks, Britt. So today we're going to be touching on comparison, and we did talk last episode a little bit more or a little bit about getting into thinking about 2024, letting go of 2023. And I think in that we can start to compare ourselves. Like we had this conversation, Britt and I, that was like, you start to look at others' highlight reels from 2023. Everybody's posting their top this and top that. And you start to compare yourself thinking, did I do enough last year? Did I complete enough? Was I, enough? I think that a lot of the times it comes down to you're like, am I enough? And yes, of course you are enough. No matter what you did, no matter what you do, just as you are enough. So we just want to make sure that you know that. And comparing yourself to somebody else who is on social media or even a friend in your real life, as opposed to somebody who is, out there in that social media stratosphere, it really isn't doing you any good. It's not supporting who you are as a whole person. So trying to really let that comparison go. A lot of the times, we are looking at what other people are doing. And even coming into a new year, we talked about on our last episode, new year, stronger you. Focus on what you're doing, what your plans are. And it's not that you can't celebrate somebody else's wins and be happy for somebody else and look at someone else and be motivated and inspired. Those things are great. I think those are the great things about social media is you can, really get pumped up by what somebody else is doing. But then, the bad part is we look at what other people are doing and we're like, well, I'm not doing that, or I don't have that many followers, or, I've been working out and I don't have a six pack. But again, you're comparing yourself to somebody else's highlight reel. When we are on social media, most of the time we're showing you like our top self, our best self. We're Britt and made me laugh earlier because she said, somebody posted their 17th selfie. It took them 17 tries, to get that perfect shot, right? So you're looking at what somebody else wants you to see, what they've curated, what they've planned and put out there. And you don't really know the full story, right? They could have had a crappy morning and everything, was broken down and it took them, forever to get into the gym, and they took 17 selfies and they're just celebrating that they were able to get their workout done, even though their morning was crap. You have no idea, right? We all look at what other people are doing and you're like, oh, they have it so easy. But again, you have no idea what went on in the rest of their day. So I think just really taking everything that is out on social media with a grain of salt, taking it for what it is and not reading too much into what other people are doing and not letting it stop you from being like who you're really meant to be. Ooh, the sun just came out. It just lightened up everything here.
Oh, I'm jealous right now. So jealous.
Literally just like for a brief second, like, hello, sun. Um, it's winter in Michigan. So, and in yes, we don't see very much sun here, but so that's really what I kind of wanted to just touch on is making sure that you take everything with that grain of salt, that you take a look at somebody else's post and you're like, okay, they did great. They have a six pack, they have 100,000 followers, they have this, that, the other. But again, you have no idea how long they've been trying to grow that social media brand or how long they've been working out, or to get a six pack, it takes a really specific dialed in nutrition plan to get that six pack. So just because you're working out and you don't have a six pack doesn't mean that you're not trying as hard as somebody else. So genetics come into play. Everything comes into play. So just take a step back, and then really just not letting that one snapshot of somebody's day ruin your whole day. And Britt, I'll turn it over to
Yeah,
you.
well said. Definitely. So I kind of wanted to more, I guess we'll say the more boring approach, but I
Oh,
wanted to kind of discuss more the behavioral or psychological aspects to the well-being of doing the whole comparison thing. Obviously, it's not ideal by any means to do it, and but having that growth to know where it's encouragement and motivation and not going to set you back. That's really what most coaches, but also too what as humans would strive for, because really we're programmed to be more, we should be programmed to be more loving and supportive, but we've been shown time and time again that that's not unfortunately always the case.
right.
um, so saying that, there's tons of research, like Harvard studies and all this stuff, that shows that more time that people spend on Facebook, Instagram, and compare themselves socially, it's linked among so many other mental health and psychological well-being traits. So say like low self-esteem, um, higher social anxiety, body dissatisfaction, or oh my gosh, I can't talk right now.
I know what you mean.
Dissatisfaction, yeah, disordered eating, like all these things, and there is more, but these were the parts that kind of went more with the whole fitness world that I felt like I should put on here.
Yeah.
Like I kind of tailored it. Um, all of this and more is linked to just basically sitting there scrolling on TikTok or whatever, Instagram, for hours. And like I know I've been sometimes guilty of it. If I'm on a break, I just want that little escape, and I'll end up scrolling for a while, which really I should be doing more beneficial things for myself as a whole. But hey, sometimes it's just easier to go to that quick little like, there it is, then
Yeah. You need
go
to
into
zone
something
out and
else.
laugh for a few minutes. It's there.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, because like basically how you and I communicate is nothing but reels. So like
Yeah.
our conversations kind of get escalated quite quickly.
Yeah. But we make each
um,
other laugh, so it's all good.
exactly, exactly. One thing that really changed the aspect of things for um, our behavioral and our well-being is with the whole COVID lockdown. Our phones were used and social media was used for an escape, for us to escape that pod that we were basically put into. Um, and I don't feel yet that we have overcome and healed from this yet. And it will take time because we went essentially 2 years where our escape was our phones, or we made those group chats with Zoom with people or whatever. I think there was another one called Party Chat or something like that that was out for a while there. I remember there was one house party, I forget, that was
Yeah.
made, and that was one way that I did talk to my friend that's in Toronto and such, because we didn't have another way, right?
Right.
And I do like, because this will take so much time because we went through it for so long and that convenience was there and the addiction was there and is still there. It will take time to heal, but at the same time, I feel like it is one of those things that we can ripple away from that just one by one, like as a collective of people, right? So
Yeah.
like there is hope that we'll eventually get better and get smarter and be more with ourselves and have that growth, like I mentioned before, to see it as a motivational point, not a, oh, I wish I was there doing that or living that life. It's, like
Right.
we should be embracing and loving our own lives and
Yeah.
stuff.
Absolutely.
But sorry, I might have some dogs being vocal soon. I've been trying to mute them, but
It's
getting
real
close
life.
to the time.
It's real life. So I
um,
think one of the other things we were wanting to talk about is a couple ways to get out of that comparison mode. So yes, we know we do it. What are some ways that we can stop? You know, Scrolling is going to be part of our life. Social media is part of our life. We're on it. But what you can do maybe is to schedule some time away from social media. So don't grab your phone first thing in the morning. What else can you do instead of opening up? I saw a quote that was like, why start your morning living somebody else's day? Why don't you start your morning living your day? So what is going to create the kind of day that you want? read a book if that's what you enjoy, go for a walk if that's something that can fit into your schedule, even just having a cup of coffee on your patio, whatever it is that is going to start your life and not somebody else's life. And I really kind of liked that. So schedule some time away from social media. Like Britton said, sometimes you do have like that 10-15 minute break and you're going to scroll and you're going to scroll and that's fine. But then put that away and go on and do, maybe something else after that 10-15 minutes. Also, one of the things that I like to do is set parameters on not only social media sites. You can go on and set like a limit on how long you spend. And once you've hit that limit, it will like alert you to, okay, you've hit your hour for the day. And then you can just kind of, it'll keep telling you, you can snooze it and it'll keep telling you, you've hit like your next 10 minutes. But that's a good way to kind of be a little bit more cognizant of how much time you're spending on there. And then one of the things that I do for my kids is that screen time limit. So I was like, hey, I'm going to set a screen time limit for myself. And it's going to the thing on Apple. I'm not so sure about the other like Samsungs and Androids. But if you set yourself a 30-minute limit for Instagram, a 30-minute limit for Facebook, it can block the app after that time. So for me, I would have to go and put in a password to unlock it. I mean, I know my password, but it's like that extra step of how many times you just grab your phone, flip it open, mindlessly scroll, where if you were to go touch on, you're like, ooh, it's, turned off. Maybe you'll like find something else to do. So maybe getting out, going for a walk, finding something to boost your serotonin levels that isn't tied to your phone. So those are the couple ways that I think you can just slowly start to get out of being addicted to that phone and getting yourself out of that comparison mode. So Britt, turn it over to you.
Yeah. So like, that's like all great ways. I have my one dog right here. So if I don't stop petting him, he'll cry. So if you see me doing some weird stuff, it's just you petting the dog.
That's okay.
Yeah, he might jump up. I don't know. I hope not. So mine, like, I wanted to kind of more get into not so much on the phone, but just in life, like that life comparison aspect. So yeah, sure, distance yourself from the apps, the websites, whichever. Like make sure you're grounded, and like if you have to meditate or do something, like get yourself in that state where it's you and you're not being affected by this. Like by all means, do it.
Yeah.
Actually talk to a friend, like call them, or if you have to text them, like actually physically reach out to them and not just creep them, because chances are they did do that. This is my 17th one actually looks okay. Let's put it up there. Sorry, Lil. So like things like that, where, and then too, like say if you do see someone out in like the towns or whichever. I'm a small town girl, so I'm saying town. And you're kind of not saying comparing yourself to their life, but comparing yourself to their life at the same, like you mentioned earlier. But why would you want to live their life? You have no idea what those struggles are behind the scenes. Like, are they actually happy, or is all this materialistic items that they have and that they flaunt, we'll say, trying to be respectful, is this all just a like what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say facade, but like is it is this all just fake? And then really those items are what brings their happiness, because really they're empty inside. Like you don't know these things, right? So
right.
Just like I always say, focus on your side of the sidewalk and keep yourself grounded, keep your faith with what you got and what your truth is, and just worry about that and make that, if you're not happy with it, make that better. Don't say that I would like to have Barb's life. Like who knows what Barb deals with when she gets home from work at the end of the day. Like maybe we don't want Barb's life, right? So I picked on Nathan before, now I'm picking on Barb.
That's right, Nathan's barbecues.
Yeah. So just things to think about, like just keep yourself grounded and centered and just know your truth. And like the whole thing that you said, where how come I don't have a six pack? I'm working like literally my like everything off right now. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, could it be genetics? Could it be what you're eating? Could it just be that you're not training technically right for what you're it's the deaf ones that are barking, so I can't stop.
That's okay.
Sorry.
It's real life, girlfriend. It's real life.
Yeah.
I'm surprised mine hasn't been barking or my kids haven't barged in yet. So
We're
yes,
doing good.
doing all
But
right.
that's a nutshell what I was just trying
Yeah.
to say there. And like to like the whole reaching, like actually physically reaching out, it speaks volumes.
Yeah,
And
that's important to have
it
that actual connection with somebody.
exactly, even if it is like say sharing, I hate to say it, a reel,
Yeah.
you're reaching out and you're like, this brought me joy and made me laugh. And I thought of you
Right.
when I saw this.
I thought.
And I hope you get that same joy. Then you can like branch on from there, like, hey, how's it going? How you doing?
Right.
And see how that goes, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's you see the things that's like my love language is sending reels. It's like,
Exactly.
it's like you said, I thought of you, this made me laugh, and I wanted to send it to you and maybe, brighten your day just a little bit today too. So yeah, I agree.
Exactly. And it just changes the why can't I talk today? Oh my gosh.
The
Not the
dynamic
dot.
maybe.
Thank you. Yes, that's exactly the word I'm looking for. It changes that whole approach. So that way I'm no longer comparing something. I'm putting energy into myself and I'm spreading a little bit of love and joy along the way, which
Yeah.
that's what we all need in the day.
Yeah,
So yeah.
absolutely. Agreed, agreed. All right. Well, we want to thank you guys so much again for joining us. We appreciate you listening and being a part of our podcast world. And make sure that you follow, like, subscribe, all the things and all the places. So that way, when we release our next episode. You can find us on our respective Facebooks and Instagram. We even have, I think we have a business Facebook, not Instagram, but you can find us
Yeah,
on our own pages on Instagram. So be sure to reach out. Any questions or anything that you would like to talk about, we would love to hear from you.
absolutely. So episode 6, I can't believe we're already at 6, like,
Yeah.
or going to be getting at 6,
Yeah.
is traveling and how to stay on track the best you can. So while you're doing it, so stay tuned for those updates. We'll let you know once that's posted. And once again, like getting started is the hardest part, but we are here to help. And we are sending all our love. And I'm Britt, and with me always is Ange. And just have the most amazing day that you can
Yeah.
have.
Bye-bye.
Bye.